welcome back to Just One Question. It's a great thrill and an honor, even though we're still on lockdown, even though it's 2021 and I'm still doing the Just One Question, yet it does allow me to connect with a dear friend, Yukari Watanabe. Yukari is one of those truly remarkable people that understands two cultures. And in some ways, I think she understands American culture better than many Americans who have lived here all their lives. Yukari introduces English language writers and works to Japanese readers through her highly influential blog and through Newsweek Japan. She also writes on the American political scene and social issues, explaining them the strangeness of Americans to to the Japanese. And she published a book on that in Japan last year. And as you can imagine, she was very busy during this recent political season, explaining what the heck was going on to interested Japanese in this American political season. She also occasionally translates American books, English, written English language books into Japanese. So it's with great pleasure, Yukari, that I welcome you to the show. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you're working on a lot of things right now because you just told me that. And so thanks for taking the time. How are you doing during this pandemic?
Hi. Actually, I picked up at some interesting hobbies.
Mm.
I like going to the woods nearby, and usually I just run through it, and then I don't really pay attention to the surrounding sceneries.
Mm.
This year, I got into berry pickings.
Ah.
And I got so into it, and then so every day I went out and then picked, like stayed there for 4 hours, and then I became very good at finding those things. So
Mm.
next summer
Mm.
we can go together after
Aha.
everything is done,
Yes.
and I'll show you, where you can find that the really hidden things.
Ah.
So that's
So
what I'm doing.
So what are we talking about here? Blackberries, raspberries?
Yes, and then other berries, and then
Mm,
huckleberries.
huckleberries. Ah,
Huckleberries.
yeah.
They are a secret place, and I know how to find it now. So
Excellent.
I'm very proud of myself.
Yeah, you should be. I've read about huckleberries as a literary phenomenon, but I've never, I think, had one. So you're
Really
on.
tasty.
We'll try that.
Yes,
Yeah.
next time.
Okay. So, so we have just one question for you, and it's the same one we've been asking everybody so far in 2021. And that is, we do see the light at the end of the tunnel. We are hopeful that perhaps with the vaccine and with enough time that we will be able to resume something like normal life, but we will be
Mhm.
changed. We know this. This pandemic has changed us all. And so my question to you, especially one who sees two different cultures that have
Mhm.
had very different experiences during the pandemic, is how do you think we'll be changed? And how do you think we'll be different as a result of the pandemic?
Um, I'm not sure about the difference of the cultures, but
Mm,
because the pandemic really didn't become serious in Japan so quickly and
mm,
until recently.
mm,
So many people had that the kind of like a loose feeling of it. Some people are serious, but many people are not serious about it. So they kept on going to dinner and the meeting and the drinking and so on. So you know so they had a kind of like a false safety feeling. So
mm,
now that this winter came, and then it's becoming more serious. And so I think that it's rather difficult for them to get used to it.
mhm,
And because it was already going on for a long time, and then now they have to, get into that the more serious situation. I think that it's really emotionally, psychologically very tough for them. So I worry about their,
mhm.
psychological reaction to it.
Sure.
And
Right.
that's one thing. And then
Mm.
I think that they might be even worse than here in that for that reason.
Interesting. Interesting. So, how will we be different then when all this is over or it begins to be over? How will we have changed?
I think that we are not going back to what it used to be.
Hmm.
It's not going to be that. I don't know. I'm not sure that if I should use new normal,
Hmm.
but everything's going to be different. But I guess that every time that something happens, that our life changes forever.
Hmm.
So it's one of those things, and we may not hug each other so often. But I think that we learned how to appreciate other people too. There are lots of bad things happened, of course, that like a you know political craziness what's going
Hmm.
on right now. I think
Hmm.
that partially because that people stayed at home too much, and that they didn't really have that physical contact to other people, and so it came kind of like a denial. And
Hmm.
then also that the people are very social, so they wanted to gather. They want to
Hmm.
gather, and then that if they are told not to do it, and then people just feel that you feel you are denied.
Hmm.
So therefore, that it's partially that what happened in the Black Lives Matter
Hmm.
um, became that really big. It's
Hmm.
partially that, and the people wanted to connect, physically connect to each other, and also that what's happening right now
Hmm.
is also that too. So
Hmm.
it doesn't matter it's politically left or right, but that human beings have that kind of urge. And then so once that this pandemic is over, I think that we may overdo things,
Hmm.
so that we have to kind of feel, be careful about those things, but also that we have to find out something new to connect to other people in a better way.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. There's a real danger of the pendulum swinging too far
Mm-hmm.
the other way, the extreme overreaction to all this enforced solitude
Mm-hmm.
and enforced isolation. So I think that's really accurate, and there is a real concern there. And I also hope that we do get to do some of that. We do get to do some of the connecting and whatnot,
Yes,
uh,
yes. I'm looking
because
forward to it.
yes, we're overdue. And I will take you up on that offer to go find huckleberries because now I'm
Yeah,
intrigued. I want to try one.
definitely, yes, definitely, definitely. That's
Thanks.
another thing, that the social, connections, that
Mm.
giving back to that the community. I started to think that I might do that those tour for
Mm.
the local people,
Ah, there you go.
and then try
Yeah.
to figure out that edible things, that the non-edible things. So
That's that's incredible. I love that. So you really prevented from traveling to Japan or traveling around the U.S.
mhm,
You started to explore the local scene
exactly.
and learn something about it. So well done, Yukari. Thank you so much. This has
Thank
been a
you.
great delight. It's good to
It,
see you
it's so nice to
and
see you again.
yeah and I hope indeed that we can connect for real soon
Yes,
and
exactly.
that this is over for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you.